Hello, everybody. I hope all of you are having a good day today. Today, I want to talk about something that I've touched on before in the past, but today I want to come at it at a little bit different angle. Since June 14th of 2012, when I had my encounter with God that changed everything, and whenever I began sharing on YouTube the things that God was revealing to me, I have connected with hundreds of other brothers and sisters out there who have had similar encounters as I. Out of all those testimonies, out of all those brothers and sisters that I've met, our testimonies are similar, but none of them are identical. We're each uniquely made, and so our stories are all different. But there is one constant in all of those testimonies, and that is that after God revealed himself to them, everything changed for them. They were made new. And I'll be straight up with you, and most of those people with testimonies similar to mine will be straight up with you too. Most of us, after coming to know God for just a quick minute, got very religious. And by the grace of God and God's patience with us in his spirit, he pulled us out of that religious mindset, and that is just all part of this journey, this walk. I remember within just a few days of being born again, I remember I couldn't contain it. I couldn't hold it in. I began to tell everybody, and the first thing they would all tell me was, or ask me, well, have you gotten a Bible yet? And I was like, no, what, why? And well, you need to get a Bible so you'll know what to do. So I was like, okay, I get a Bible, and I got a Bible, and I started reading it, and instead of looking at it with spiritual eyes, I was looking at it with literal eyes, and then I came across John 6:63. I say I come across it. What I mean is after I read the Bible about 4 or 5 times, and after God spoke to me one night and told me that I needed to take a step back. He said, you need to look at things a little different. And that's when I come across John 6:63. It reads, the Spirit is the one who gives life. Flesh doesn't help at all, meaning the carnal mind doesn't help you at all. The words that I have spoken to you are spirit and are life. And this is when my indoctrination of end times theology and rapture took a turn. We've all read the verses where God says, I will create a new heaven and new earth, and the former shall not be remembered nor come into mind. When I read that now, I look at my past or who I was, and you see, I can't really remember the person that I was. I can tell you stories about him, but I can't remember actually being there. It's like it doesn't come to mind anymore. That was wiped away from me. That person is gone. So now that I understand that, and whenever I read 2 Corinthians chapter 5, verse 17, it's written, therefore, if anyone is in Christ, he is a new creation. The old things have passed away. Behold, all things have become new. I remember the night that God changed me. I wasn't expecting that. It was as though he came to me as a thief in the night. I really couldn't tell you that I was pursuing him. I guess in a way I was probably wrestling with him, But I had no idea what was about to happen to me. And whenever it did, it was a complete and total surprise to me. You see, when I read these stories now, I look at these verses like the day of the Lord and things like that as each and every one of us having our own individual day of the Lord. When most people read 2 Peter 3:10, they hear about the day of the Lord, and they hear this story about even the elements being burned up. And the first thing that comes to most people's carnal minds is the periodic table of elements. But let's take a closer look at this word element in the original language that this verse was written in. Don't take my word for this stuff. Look it up yourself. And when you do look it up, you'll realize that it has nothing to do with hydrogen, helium, aluminum, or any of those things on the elemental chart. It's actually speaking about the elements of religious training or ceremonial precepts common to the worship of Jews and Gentiles, meaning the religion, the rudiments in which mankind was indoctrinated before the time of Christ. Now, in the English, there is a word that is used here in this verse where it says it will be burned up. But in the Greek, it will be dissolved. And in the Greek, that means to loose, release, annul, as in annulling a marriage, as in the bride, and then unbind. Remember this word unbind, because it comes into play with the story of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. I'm not going to read you the whole story. You can do that on your own. But if you'll notice in this story here, the word bound or tied up is used 4 times. They want to make sure that they get this across to you, that Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego were tied up. They were bound. They were in the refiner's fire. It was like the day of the Lord for them. And what happened? What happened in the refiner's fire? The only thing that was burned away from them was the things that were binding them. Their bindings were burned away. And when they looked inside the furnace, they saw a 4th man in there, one who looked as a son of God. You see, that is the Christ mind. That is coming to know Christ. Whenever Christ steps in, he sets you free. He breaks those chains. He gets you through that refiner's fire. You see, whenever you go through the refiner's fire, everything else is burned away. All that stuff, all those things, all that religious mindset is burned away. And whenever that is burned away, only the pure gold comes to the top. Now check out Romans chapter 8, verse 19, where it reads, "The creation waits in eager expectation for the sons of God to be revealed." Now let's take a look at this word creation here in the original language that it was written in. You see, in the Greek language, there's several different words for the word creation. So they were very specific to give you this particular word, and this word means creating out of nothing, the founding of a new city, i.e., think about it, New Jerusalem. Most of you have read Revelations chapter 21. So now that you know what this word is for creation here, let's look at this in a little bit different way. I've read to you guys before the Greek definition of the word apocalypse or revelation, and that it means unveiling, uncovering, revealing something that has been hidden. So now that you know that you know the book of Revelation, or the revelation of John, think about that. That means the unveiling, uncovering, revealing something that has been hidden from John. So you see, whenever Christ is revealed to you individually, you will go through your apocalypse, your revealing, your unveiling. I pray that this upload has enlightened you. I love you all. God bless.